What's going on? All right, today I want to talk to you guys about why the rich get richer. There's a lot of misconception out there that it's because of the government, it's because that they cheat people, because they do these certain kinds of things, and it's all nonsense. There is one reason why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And I'm going to go over all that in this video. All right, so why do the rich get richer and why do the poor get poorer? It boils down to a very simple action that each of them take. It's not the government, it's not politics, it's not the economy, it's not because there's not opportunity. We know plenty of people who have come from far less than us who have gone straight to the top. Why is that? Why do they have more wealth than others? And why do certain people, why are they not able to get out of this rut of being broke? Here's why. Because the rich buy assets and poor buy liabilities. Here's what I mean by that. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. A car is a liability. No! A TV is a liability. Your rent or your mortgage on your own primary home is a liability. Those are all things that take money out of your pocket. And if you don't have assets to pay for those liabilities, or you don't know how to turn those liabilities into assets, which will be in my next video, then you have to just keep on working and trading your time for money to then go and pay for those liabilities. And what happens is people get into a cycle where they're spending more than what they make on these liabilities. Okay? That's why, and they teach their family, and it happens for generations and generations and generations, and they keep on buying liabilities, things that depreciate over time, that lose value over time, that are eventually worth nothing, and they spend their money, all their money, on those things. They're spending money on all those different things. It's not worth anything. That's why they are poor, and the poor get poorer. Why do the rich get richer? The rich buy assets. It's not because they're better people or worse people, they're scamming anybody, or because the government likes them better. It's they're just disciplined in what they spend their money on. They buy assets. They go out and they take their money, they earn money, they save their money, and then they buy assets with it. What's an asset? An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So you can go out and you can buy a property. You can buy a rental property. You renovate the rental property, and that rental property then has a renter who comes and lives there. You're providing a value, a service to somebody else, so much so that they're willing to pay you every month to live in your property. They pay rent every single month, and here's the beauty of it. That rent is typically enough, depending on you buying at the right price and operating properly and all those other different factors. That rent covers your operating expenses. It covers the taxes, the insurance, the utilities, the maintenance, the management of the property. And it covers the debt service, your mortgage on the property. And it puts some cash flow in your pocket on a monthly basis. Over time, that asset that the rich purchased, it covers itself, it pays for itself, right? And it puts money in their pocket every single month. So then they can use that money and live off of it. Then that tenant, as they continue to pay the mortgage or pay rent, it pays the mortgage down and the mortgage balance reduces. And over time, as inflation occurs and rent gets increased and the property appreciates in value, all of a sudden the rental rate and the value of the property increases. So the mortgage goes down, the value goes up, and you're left with this spread of all this equity in the property 10, 20, 30 years later that creates hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, even hundreds of millions of dollars of equity in property. So the rich go out and they buy these assets and they sit on them and they make sure that they provide enough value to others where then they're willing to pay on a monthly basis, bring in that income. It pays for their own assets. It pays down the cost of owning that asset. the asset appreciates over time and they're left with all this equity. So if you go out and you collect assets, I promise you one day you will be wealthy. You will be rich, but you have to go out and be disciplined in buying assets, right? It's nothing for or against you. I promise you, I know a lot of people in real estate that it doesn't matter if you have a GED or a PhD. Real estate is an equalizer of dummies, right? Like there's a lot of people who should not be wealthier than you and me, and they are. You know why? Because they buy more assets. No other reason. If you go out and you buy assets, I promise you, you will develop wealth over time. But you got to be disciplined in buying things that put money in your pocket, not take money out of your pocket. So make sure you're buying assets. Don't go out and buy liabilities. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do future generations a favor by buying assets. Don't wait to buy real estate and wait. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe, hit the little notifications bell, and share this, right? If you got value out of this, a lot of other people are gonna get value out of it too. Please share it with your friends, with your family, with other people on social media. Wealth is like sunshine, right? Other people getting sunshine takes no sunshine away from you and me. Make sure that we're spreading the sunshine, spreading the wealth, helping everybody elevate their financial literacy. And by everybody being financially literate and competent, it's gonna create a better society and a better community for all of us. So please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, so obviously I put out a ton of free content on all the different social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. And we put out some different things on each one, so make sure that we're connected on all those different platforms. But I have a lot of people who are looking for something a little bit more formal and a little bit more direct on how to invest in apartment buildings. So if that's you, come out to Commercial Empire. I have a 2-day high-intensive course that gives you really the A to Z on how to invest in apartment buildings. And they can be big apartment buildings, they can be small multifamily units. It's essentially from the cradle to grave, from the start to finish of how do we go about the process of finding deals, raising capital on deals, operating those deals, and building long-term legacy wealth. So come out to Commercial Empire. It's a 2-day event. It's done virtually. You don't have to travel. And we've actually, since COVID hit, it used to be an in-person that was $5,000 event. We've actually reduced the price point to 10% of that. So it's only $500 to come out for the exact same content that people were paying $5,000 for pre-COVID. So it's a pretty smoking deal. Would love to have you out there. And the idea there is not for me to make a bunch of money off of a coaching. Like, I want to do deals, right? Like the way that I generate deal flow and the way that I generate passive investors into my projects is there's a lot of people who come out to Commercial Empire and you're gonna learn how to go out and take down deals on your own. But chances are you're probably gonna come across a deal that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It's a little bit bigger. Maybe you need help raising money on it. Maybe you need help sponsoring the loan. Maybe you need somebody just kind of mentor and hold your hand through the process, so that way it gives you another level of comfort. And that's what we're here for, right? I've partnered up, I've done hundreds, if not thousands of units with my students all over the country. So it allows you to get into deals that you couldn't have gotten into. It allows me to get into deals that I couldn't have gotten into. And together we can elevate each other's success and net worth and portfolio value as a collective whole, right? Like a rising tide floats all boats. And there's gonna be other people who come out and they're like, hey Tim, I love what you're doing. Just a little bit more work than I wanna do, but I have money or I have access to money. Can I deploy it into deals with you, your students? And there's definitely ways that we can work together on that front as well. So if you are interested in Commercial Empire, if either of those buckets sound like you, please plug in, learn how we do our deals and how we build wealth through the Legacy Wealth platform. So appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you at the next event.